All right, y'all, we are live. A few minutes late. Oh man, on this beautiful Monday afternoon, blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, well, golly, I still pray you and your family are super blessed. As we go over this Bitcoin price action today, guys, we have a lot to talk about actually, because we are at a pretty crucial place, if you ask me. We are at a pretty crucial place, if you ask me. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Lane Hughes. I have never been this bearish before, he says. He's been screaming about it on Twitter for like 2 weeks. He truly feels 16K is a few months away. Guys, make sure to smash the like button. FOMO into the like button, baby. Pretend the like button is a juicy slice of pecan pie. Carb-free, sugar-free, fat-free, with lots of protein. Only 75 calories. Somehow 30 grams of protein, no carbs, no sugar. Tastes the same as regular pecan pie. Alright, shout out to Wendell in the chat. Shout out to Brett, 2 cents. He says, yo, bro, much love and respect. Much love and respect to you as well, my friend. Shout out to Michael Marby. He says, that's when we dump, when everyone is happy. Shout out to Aaron G, 446 viewers. Can we get 446 likes? Guys, today is game day in the Casper Crew. In about an hour, we are going to be giving away $3,000 in the Casper Crew, playing some really fun games in there. And we do have a Black Friday sale. If you want to join the Casper Crew, 50% off the first month. Use the coupon code VIP Black Friday at jasoncaspertrading.com to get 50% off the first month. Let's see who else we got in the chat. Shout out to Escape the Matrix. He laughs at the 16K. Shout out to Zayshawn. Sean, he says, I love you, bro, Jason. I love you, man, Zayshawn. Zeshawn. Shout out to Kenneth Lim. 2 a.m. here, stayed up just for this. Man, bro, sleep is number one. I highly recommend you get some sleep. Bitcoin is printing a red dot on the weekly. OMG, 3,000. Yeah, we're giving it away in chunks of $500, guys. Multiple chances to win $500 prizes in the Casper Crew today. We still have our Black Friday sale, guys, on all the courses. If you use the coupon code JC Black Friday, 50% off all the courses. Alrighty, let's get into this Bitcoin analysis, guys. I am still holding some longs, you know. I am still holding some longs, guys, from last week. Obviously, I'm still in this long. I am still also in this long over here from last week. This is the long from, was it Wednesday? Wow. I've also taken a short trade, guys. Now, we have been waiting for a while now for Bitcoin to come up above 38,107 and basically grab all the liquidity from these areas that we had here, and then potentially get a move back down at least to the bottom of the range, right? Well, as you can see, we have taken that level at 38,107, and we are right now, as we speak, coming back down into the range, okay? So this is the range that we've been trading now since Tuesday, November 9th, all right? And look at this. All right, I do want to point out a few interesting things. When we originally got this move on Friday, we came down and we bounced perfectly from the value area high of the range, and then we lost it. We back tested the value area high of the range, lost it, and now we're currently back testing the point of control of the range. The entire time we've been making local lower lows and lower highs. Nothing too bearish yet, guys. Nothing too bearish yet. Also, the context of this entire chunk of price action, once again, is the upside down Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man booby Pat's horn. All right, again, just to show you that I'm not making this up about the boobs, we're just going to go ahead and superimpose SBF onto MCB. All right, we got SBF on MCB, and look at that, money flow and momentum waves both getting lower over time. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see the similarities here. Wow, sheesh. Now, we know that this historically leads to at least a 20% move to the downside. And that's something that we've been preparing for all last week, where I made the same video every day all last week, just as saying it a different way. Because when you make a Bitcoin video a day to keep the doctor away, sometimes you run out of things to say, because the same thing happens every day, right? Well, we've taken the high, potentially we are coming down to a low. Now here's what we really need to be aware of. Just below us right now, we do have support, all right? At the low of the range, we have the Fibonacci golden pocket at around 36.5, down to the value area low at around 36.2. If we come down to these areas, we very well may get another bounce and put in another high. Why do I say that? The reason, guys, I say we could very easily get a bounce from 36,200 zone is because throughout the entirety of this, we have been holding this structure of higher lows and higher highs, okay? When a lot of people thought this was the high, or that this was the high, or that this was the high, we were continuing to make higher lows respecting this trend line, and now we're coming back down to the trend line again, potentially now making another higher low. In addition to that, you could make the case that we have here a hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour. Okay, as the price is now making a higher low, coming down into this box of support, we are seeing the money flow on Market Cipher B starting to get thicker, and we are seeing the momentum wave on Market Cipher B print a dot below the zero line, lower than the dot it printed back here. When the price is making a higher low in an uptrend, and the momentum oscillator is making a lower low in an uptrend, that is a continuation pattern. And when you have this happening, right, let's say we start to print this green dot here on the 4-hour, when you have that happening in conjunction with lower time frame bullish divergences, let's say on the 1-hour time frame, what do you know? 1-hour time frame is giving us bullish divergences right here. Juicy, uneven butt cheeks. We got the juicy left cheek over here. Nice and big, nice and round. Mwah! Like an Italian chef cooking the butt cheek, and the ricotta cheese is flowing out of the butt cheek over here. On the left, all right? Then over on the right, what do we have but that skinny old butt cheek? That skinny old butt cheek, that old lady, the one that works at the diner, real skinny. She talks with a raspy voice and a Brooklyn accent because she smokes too many cigarettes. You know who I'm talking about. Hey, Dolores, get over here. This guy needs another cup of coffee, all right? Real skinny butt cheek, but here's the thing. Where's the tip money? Right here in the right-hand butt cheek. All right, now when the price is coming down, I want you to look at this, right? Here we go. We got the candles. Price is coming down to the point of control of the range. Key support, okay? When the butt cheeks are uneven, look at what the price starts to do. Get to move to the upside, okay? So potentially, guys, we are going to see Dolores at the diner, our good party friend, partying all night until 2 a.m. She's got way too much junk in the left side of the trunk. She got the tip money in the right side. Okay, we've got the hidden bullish divergences. This could very easily play out here. But, all right, if we lose this level, that opens the door for much more downside. And here's why. Not only are we breaking down from the local range here, right, which we would be doing, but we'd now be changing market structure for the first time, really, making a significant lower low. And not only that, but we would be coming into this old range here. All right, notice this. Right now, we are in fact flirting with a very, very important level, guys. The value area high of the range. Okay, so if we're going to now lose the trend line, we have to realize that not only are we losing the trend line, but we're breaking the trend as we're also losing and coming back into the value area of the range. Now, when we get a pullback on Bitcoin, and it will happen, okay, we can't go up forever. And this is the ugliest price action I've ever seen in my life. All right, when we get that pullback, it's going to be fast, it's going to be brutal, and it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. It's going to be fast and brutal. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. It would be like if you were listening to a smooth jazz song, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they go into a deathcore breakdown, 2008 style. All right? That's what it'll be like. Because when we are forming this, you have to imagine that there are stop losses under these levels. And when we start losing them, every time people get stopped out, that's a sell order in the market, which pushes price down lower. More sell orders get triggered, price comes down lower. More sell orders get triggered, price comes down lower. More sell orders get triggered, price comes down lower. Once we come down to the bottom of this range, right, when we just look at this chart here, let's just look at the chart. A beautiful work of art on this chart, but look at this. You mean to tell me we're gonna find support in the middle of this? Of course we're not. Of course we're not. We could come down even lower. All right, now here's what we need to be prepared for. First of all, I'm not saying this is going to happen, because if we keep making higher lows and higher highs, I'm gonna keep longing the higher lows, because the trend is your friend until the end, right? Patterns keep repeating until all of a sudden they don't. So right now, there's no reason for us to say this is the top. We could say, based on the pattern and the market structure, we can keep looking for higher lows. But once we stop making higher lows, then we need to be prepared for a big pullback. Now here's what I'm really interested in. All right, take a look at this. We've been talking about this for a while here, but basically we have broken out of resistance. Okay, this key level, 28.6-ish thousand dollars. It's a zone, it's not a level. I'd say we could put it right here, right between, let's say, these highs that we have here, right? This is a zone, not a level. But this right here is going to be a support resistance flip. So if we start to get a move down, we could very easily come down to around, let's just call it $30,500, right in the middle of our zone, and then get another big move to the upside. Okay? This is what I am prepared for. Why? Why am I prepared for a move like that? Well, if we look historically at what has happened here throughout the last year, we have a large move to the upside, a 20% pullback, a large move to the upside, a 20% pullback, a large move to the upside, a 20% pullback. And honestly, I would not even consider, I would consider this one move. I would consider this one, pullback, two, with a pullback, and now potentially three, with another pullback, continuing in an uptrend. Because objectively speaking here, guys, the daily market cipher B, money flow is very, very thick here. Right? This is bullish. This is bullish money flow. It's continuing to get higher. So when you're starting to form bearish divergences, where the momentum waves are getting lower, as the price is getting higher, but the money flow is getting thicker, while we're in a massive uptrend, you say to yourself, we're in a massive uptrend, but the medium time frames are looking bearish. Therefore, we are going to get a pullback pretty soon, and when we do, this is going to open up the door for me to get into a juicy long trade. You know, shout out to all the people who are longing up here. All right, good for you guys. You're gambling, that's cool. If gambling's your thing. All right, if gambling's your thing, cool, good for you, man. Gambling ain't my thing. So look, besides scalping and day trading, I have taken obviously a lot of longs in here, all right? But as far as swing trades go, I have not taken a swing trade on Bitcoin since down here, actually, since around 28.3. And the swing trade before that was right down here at 25K. All right? I'm not looking to take another swing trade on Bitcoin long unless we come down to around that 30K to 29K zone. Support resistance flip. All right? So that's my overall outlook on Bitcoin. I do think we could still see higher Bitcoin prices. I am still thinking that before this bear market rally is over, we could come up to our next major areas of resistance, which is going to be between the high volume node of the range, the value area high, the 618, Fibonacci, golden pocket, and all that. But we need to be aware right now of a potential pullback coming in. All right, and again, I'm not saying this because I'm a Bitcoin bear, guys. All right, I'm not a Bitcoin bear. I'm a Bitcoin bull. I'm in this for the long game. All right, this is going to be my third bull market, guys. All right, this is going to be my third bull market. So I'm not a Bitcoin bear. All right, unlike a lot of traders, I care about the price of Bitcoin. I hold a lot of Bitcoin on spot. But if we're looking for the best opportunities, we have to think to ourselves, this is not a healthy move to the upside unless we come back down to test our base. And where's our base coming in? Right around that $29,000 to $30,000 level. right? That's just basic TA. So let's take a look at some of the lower time frames real quick here, because this is our current range that we're trading. And the question is, are we going to get a rotation down to the bottom of the range? I'd say the probabilities right now are that yes, we can get a move down toward the low of the range. All right, this is basically kind of the general idea, honestly, guys, I was looking for last week, where we do actually get a bigger move to the downside. I am expecting a bigger move to the downside to come in at some point. The reason why I say the probabilities are still that we come down more is because we have come inside the value area high, and unlike last time, this time we are losing the point of control and back testing it as resistance. Okay, last time we lost the point of control and back tested it as resistance was right here. And when that happened, we got to move back down to the low of the range, right? So this is just the probabilities, I would say. But here's one thing we do need to keep in mind. Just below us, we have a Fibonacci golden pocket that we just front ran, and the 786. So I am definitely going to be looking for bounces on Bitcoin right around here, right? Say 36.6-ish, 36.5-ish, and then once again at 36.2. These are going to be the two major zones that I'm looking for longs, specifically 36.2. Because once we come down to 36.2, we are back at the low of the range where the price of Bitcoin is considered now locally undervalued. Because that's really what this volume profile is. This is telling us where has the market considered the price to be a fair value throughout the past few weeks, right? Whenever price comes below the blue line, this is considered undervalued. We expect to move back to where the price is considered overvalued, in which case we expect a correction to where the price is considered undervalued, where we expect to move back up to where it's considered overvalued again, where we expect to move down where it's undervalued to where we expect to move up to where it's overvalued. Now we expect to move down to where it's undervalued, right? Most of the time, every asset you are trading is going to be ranging sideways with a clearly defined overvalued and undervalued zone. I mean, roughly, this is oversimplifying it, but in general, if you can identify areas of high and low on the chart, let's just say, right? In general, if you can identify areas of high and low on the chart, which we can from like this low here, in general, low leverage, you could just extend that box and long or short when we come to the box. And in general, I'm not saying to do this, but in general, you could be profitable doing that because usually price is going to be ranging, right? So we expect our next move to the downside, and we also understand once we start to lose these lows here, guys, if we do, especially if we start to lose 34,469, then in my mind that means it becomes much more probable that we will get a much larger move down, because once we take this, now we've officially made a lower low on the daily time frame. Right? So we go to the daily time frame and we can see now that this has been pretty dang bullish, right? Got ourselves a low, a high, a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. If we lose this level, guys, that is the first lower low that we have put in since September. Okay, so once we take that level, then I will say, you know what? It becomes pretty dang probable that we'll see more downside here, probably down to our $30,000, $29,000 area, in which case we can look for something like this, a back test, right? Once we start to get that bounce somewhere, then we can look to short a lower high down to around that 30K zone. And once we get to that 30K zone, this is where we're looking for our swing longs, right? Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm saying this is a likely scenario that I'm prepared for, because the way you're going to be prepared for juicy trades like the ones we take in the Casper crew is by looking at the charts and asking yourself, what's likely, what's probable if we come down to certain zones or up to certain zones. So right now, I'd say I'm kind of agnostic on the Bitcoin price. I can't know for certain if we're going to come down or come up, but I'm prepared for both scenarios. If we put in another high here and take out this high once again with continued bearish divergences, I'm most likely going to be shorting it, guys. I went over this morning in the Casper Crew VIP New Year's Open live stream. about why I'm looking still to short the rises based on the current market conditions. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now with the Bitcoin, y'all. And yeah, I'm still holding the longs that I'm in, because if we do just continue to get higher highs, guys, then yeah, you know I'm going to be taking profits. You know what's interesting? I randomly shorted BNB. I randomly shorted BNB a long time ago just based on the news, randomly. Still open, interestingly enough. Still in good profit. So that wasn't a technical trade. That was actually a gamble, to be honest with you. Alright, shout out to everybody in the chat. Wow, we got about 1,200 people in here. That is crazy. Alright, what is the coupon code? Alright, so there's 2 coupon codes. JC Black Friday is going to get you 50% off all the courses, including the scalping course. It's only 75 bucks. All right, so you're talking about less than 40 bucks right now for the course. My scalping strategy, I used to make 25K in a month. And it works on all courses besides White Phoenix's course. And then VIP Black Friday will get you 50% off your first month in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Shout out to the Casper Crew. We are doing games today, guys. So 6 chances to win $500. It's going to be a good time in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Shout out to Kehoe. He says, can you wrote it? I can't, man. I can't write it right now. Let me see, actually, what I can do for you guys. Let me see what I can do for you guys. Go to youtube.com. Alright, shout out to Tanner Shuck. Shout out to Dana from Chart Champions. Alright. Shout out to Trivium, the band. Alright. Go to the Jason Casper YouTube channel. Go to videos and go to this right here. And in the pinned comment, we have the Black Friday sales. I'm gonna go ahead and just post these in the I'll pin this in the live chat. Okay, if anybody's interested in the coupon codes, I'll pin these in the live chat. All right. Shout out to my man for the super chat. Shout out to Lee. He's begging me to look at Money Jesus Coin. Nah, man, I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna look at it. All right. I'm not gonna look at any coin named Jesus Coin. All right. Okay. But thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it, my man. I do appreciate it, my man. Alrighty. Yeah, so I just pinned that in the chat. Alright, well, we could take a look at some other assets as well. Alright, yeah, so Brett, if you have the original course, it includes the scalping course. So anyone who has the original course, if anyone has this course right here, the Intro to Crypto Trading Program, this now includes the scalping course. Yep, the Scalp Mini course is right here in the Intro to Crypto Trading Program. So you can take advantage right now of the 50% off for $200. You can get the intro course, which includes all this right here, including my complete scalping day trading, swing trading tutorials, all that good stuff, plus the scalping mini course. I think it's a pretty dang good deal, honestly. Of course I would say that. It's my thing. Okay, let's get into some other assets. Let's take a look at Ethereum here. Alright. Now, Ethereum, guys, is actually getting a bounce from, interestingly enough, the golden pocket support resistance flip. Now, let's clean up this chart a little bit here and just take a look at ETH, because ETH is in a similar situation to Bitcoin, I would say. All right, in the sense that we are trading this sideways range, and we have gotten a move to the overvalued area. We have come back inside. We've now back tested the value area high. We got a bounce from the point of control, but then we lost it, back tested it, and now we're coming back down toward value area low. Now, unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum locally right now is in fact getting a bounce from the local Fibonacci golden pocket, right? But if we pull this fib from lower, we can see that we actually have a much nicer confluence with a lower golden pocket and the value area low of the range, which means for me, the juicier area to look on ETH would be a little bit lower. And I would say that Ethereum looks a little bit more bullish than Bitcoin right now. Just a little bit, not too much. In general, it's the same thing. But we could say here that we have a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high. We could be looking now for a higher low toward the low of the range. Notice that Ethereum has not, unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum has not taken the high. Right, so there still is liquidity that can be taken for Ethereum at 2139. Right? This is, in my opinion, a very key level. And I actually will be a little biased toward a move up there if we do get a bounce from the undervalued zone, which historically has been support, right? Because notice something about ETH. When Bitcoin got that big move up, right, breaking out of the range, it never came back down even close to testing some of those areas. But Ethereum has, right? Ethereum has. So this is kind of interesting. Now, we can't lose sight of the macro picture for ETH either, because I would say that Bitcoin and ETH are both at a very crucial place in the sense that we could easily see much more upside if certain things happen. Okay, so right now, when we go to the daily time frame for Ethereum, what do we see? We are seeing that we are coming to an extremely important zone of resistance, just like Bitcoin is, all right? But we're also seeing that we are in very bullish market structure, and we have much higher targets, all right? We have much higher targets here for Ethereum. This is an ascending triangle with a breakout target of around 3,350. Now, I know a lot of people are like, Jason, but hey, we're at resistance here, and we're just going to keep coming back down. Okay, that is one scenario. In fact, we very well may get a pullback just like what we're looking at with Bitcoin. That doesn't change the fact that the higher timeframes are still bullish here. All right, that does not change the fact that the higher timeframes are still bullish here with these higher lows. Now, notice this, and this is what actually gets me giddy as a young female student in private school. Okay? Look at how Ethereum, ever since we put in the June 2022 low, the FTX debacle, the retest at the Silvergate debacle, and then when Bitcoin was putting in its 25K retest, what was Ethereum doing? Ethereum was showing for the second time that the market wants to trade Ethereum within the fair value zone that's been established from the last bull market. Right? Is that not wild? Is that not wild? Okay, let me turn off some of these trend lines so we can get a more clear picture of what's happening here. I'll even turn off some of these fibs. Okay, this is the fair value zone for Ethereum going all the way back to the last bull market, right? The market broke out, retest, looks kind of weak, higher high, retest, again, double retest. That to me looks kind of strong. Okay, that to me looks pretty strong. Now we are trading above, once again, the point of control of the range. That means the next target based on volume is going to be that $3,300 Ethereum, which lines up perfectly with the Fibonacci Golden Pocket retest. Okay, so just like we could see Bitcoin very easily come up to the $50,000 value area high of its range, we could also see ETH come up to the $3,300 value area high of its range. Okay, now look at this. If we are going to continue up, let's go with the same hypothesis that I have for Bitcoin, that a pullback is coming soon, right? If a pullback is coming soon, then I would expect something similar to what I expect for Bitcoin, which is maybe we make another push for the highs just to take all this liquidity here, and then we get a major pullback. If that happens, where are we looking to find support? Well, we could, look at this, pull a fib from the low to the hypothetical new high that we put in, which would now allow us to backtest the point of control of the range as support. Just like we're looking for Bitcoin to come and retest the value area low of its range, we'd be looking for ETH to backtest the point of control of its range, which is a very key level, right? Well, that's coming in around 1800. right around 1800, this massive high volume node, golden pocket retests, right? This would be the ultimate triangle breakout because it would wreck a lot of top longers, longing the clear breakout. It would wreck a lot of people who are longing the retest of this trend line, right? It would allow us to get a significant pullback, coming down to a key area of support. It would allow us to maintain the uptrend, low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then we could have the real breakout. And this would honestly, these trades that we're looking at here, these high time frame trades, these could be the trades of the year in my opinion. I mean, these could be really good potential long trades. I mean, we're talking right now a 7-to-1, and this is with an 11% stop, shooting for 80% gains here. That's a really good trade. If we're ninjas with the entry, right, then we could make this thing a 17-to-1. You know, depending on how ninja we are, this could be a massive swing trade, right? This could be a massive swing trade. That's how I look at it, at least. Now, this is just one scenario that could play out, but here's the thing, you know, people want Bitcoin predictions. Look, the truth is, predictions, we can't really make them. We can go based on probabilities, but we can't know for certain what's going to happen. Right? We cannot. We have to assess the situation in the moment, right? This is why, like, for Bitcoin, I mean, you guys know, I was bearish on Bitcoin this entire chunk of price action. I was bearish on Bitcoin because we made a lower low here. I was saying that I'm looking for an epic swing short from the 786 zone, right? I was saying I want an epic swing short from this area here because we are going to print a head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, I'll short the right shoulder down to a new lower low. And I did take that short. You guys saw it here live. I took it. I planned for it. I took it. Look, it made a lot of money too because that wick was absolutely massive. I mean, that's the thing. That wick was a 7% move, okay? But here's the thing. When we made this wick, I also said, I want to be bearish because I'm in a massive short trade that could literally make me a Bitcoin and a half, but the chart looks bullish. The chart looked bullish here. And so we need to assess it bit by bit. All right, now shout out to my man Lane Hughes because he says the chart looks bearish and there's a really good case to be made that we are going to get a pullback from around this zone here. All right, now let's take a look at some other things real quick here. Now, look at this, guys. On some exchanges, like on Coinbase, we are seeing the high volume node of the range literally where we're at right now. All right, so like on like the spot exchanges, this is a very key level. We also understand that this is a high time frame Fibonacci level that we're at right now, right? The 382. Like if we go to a monthly chart here, if we go to a monthly chart, let's say November closes purple. If we go to a monthly chart, in hindsight, somebody doing high time frame analysis would be like, oh look, we rejected from the 382. Right? If this thing closes purple, they say we rejected from the 382. Because if, let's say, for example, that this all-time high, let's say our 382 had been here, right? Let's say that this white line was our 382. People, what would people say? They would say we rejected from the 382, right? But in the moment when we're watching it play out slowly, you might say to yourself, ooh, we're breaking out above the 382, but we can't really know that for certain. So on these high time frame fib pulls where we're talking about multi-years of price action, you know, we can't look at these as exact levels like we're scalping, right? We look at these as zones. So we understand we are coming to a zone of resistance. All right. Okay, did Bitcoin get a bounce from the golden pocket just now? I don't know, actually. Nah, I think we still front ran. Yeah, we're still front running. We're still front running. I'm waiting for a little bit of a dip lower, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. We got about 1,291 people in here. We've got about 400 likes. If we can get 1,200 likes in the next 3 minutes, I will give away $1,000 to one person in the chat. Everybody like the stream right now. Shout out to J Money. Shout out to AZTV. Shout out to Pineapple Love. Shout out to Manhattan 6003. He says the high now looks like the second top in 2021. Yeah, maybe on a lower term time frame. Right? Shout out to Fit Genius 618. Go, 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 go. Shout out to Matrius. He says, link please. Did I catch the pump on USTC? No, but I saw it, man. I saw it. Shout out to Aaron G. He's blocking somebody. I guess you're blocking the Money Jesus coin guy. Shout out to Brock Landers for the super chat. He says, hey Jay, how do you know which volume profile to trust between spot, chart, and futures? It always confuses me. So that's a great question. It can be a little bit confusing. Here's the thing. We just have to understand that there are different levels on different charts, and sometimes we need to be aware of them all, right? So it's the unfortunate part of trading, but whenever we are at key zones, I recommend looking at multiple charts. For example, it was very important, and something that we were not unaware of, that when Bybit made the lower low, which was actually the premise for my short idea, Coinbase did not make a lower low. Coinbase made a higher low. So this is something that you just need to be aware of and keep in mind. You just need to keep in mind and say to yourself, you know, not all the exchanges did the same thing. Right? And also, we could say, like, something else to keep in mind is, you know, when Coinbase, we were waiting for Coinbase to take its highs right over here, right? Coinbase had made these two equal highs right here. We were waiting for it. And Bybit and MEXC, they had already taken the highs already. So you just kind of have to look at all things and consider all things together. As far as my trade entries go, I'm pretty biased to the Bybit USD chart. Do I know Da Vinci? I know of him. Do I know Carl? Of course I know Carl from Dubai. In fact, me and Carl have a movie coming out very soon.
Hello, I would like to get a Big Mac meal.
That's right, guys. And very soon in theaters, Jay and Carl go to McDonald's. Make sure to check. All right, let's check out some other coins here. Design Aspect said he's a liar. The movie will never come. Look, I could show you. I'll prove it to you right now. First of all, you could even ask Carl from the moon. He'll tell you it's coming out. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. I'll show you guys the proof. See, look, Carl, he says, let's make the movie happen. I was told him, some people think it's not serious. He says, let's make the movie happen. He's bullish. I'm telling you guys, guys think I'm playing. All right, let's take a look at some other assets here. Let's take a quick look at the good old S&P 500, because I'm still long on the S&P from the long setup that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Yeah, so let's take a look at the ES here. This is the ES chart. Now, the ES, we came down to a pretty key level. We got a local CDW right here. We got a big move to the upside. Now, personally, I am targeting a new high on the S&P, but we are currently finding resistance right here from these highs that we made back here September 2023 before the big move to the downside. So a few things we need to keep in mind here. Number one, if we look at all the volume that's traded, we are at the top of the fair value zone. Basically, we are coming to a place where the S&P 500 is going to be now considered overvalued, right? Overvalued. And so this is the place where we should be looking for shorts. The next major area we have is obviously taking out this high. Now, to the downside, I'd say that there's a few areas I'm quite interested in taking longs from. I just went over it all in the Casper Crew VIP Discord this morning during the New York Open live stream. But in general, I would say probably, for me, one of the juicier areas is going to be right around the Fibonacci golden pocket. If we get another move down there, why that? Because it forms a really nice bottom. What I mean by that is this. We were in a downtrend. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now we've made our first higher high. So that can tip us off that the trend is reversing, and now we look for a higher low. Now typically what I like to see is I like to see our next higher low coming in right around that previous lower low, right? Because that's where we have established now support, right? Right around this area here. This was our last support. We tried to come back in, but we rejected it. So it was support flipped into resistance. Now we've broken out. When we come back down, we expect to find support. Now, the cool thing about this level is the price will be considered undervalued now locally. It's a Fibonacci golden pocket. It's a support resistance flip, and we have a daily order block right around this area as well. Right here. Right? So it's just a beautiful area. Support resistance flip right around that 42.50 zone. Now that's a pretty big move to the downside, but that to me is the juiciest long I could see here really locally if we're going to continue higher. Now let's put on market cipher B. It's the daily time frame. I would really like, just based on what I see here, I would really like to basically do this. We're printing a red dot on the daily. Let's see if we can't come down, get a retracement. There's a few areas we could look for long. Basically, we could look for long in this entire zone. There's intermediate levels of support. But if we get that, right, and we do something like this, and then we get another bearish divergence here on the daily, as we actually come to take this high, I think that could be a very, 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 very juicy short trade. And the reason why is because when we go to the weekly time frame, even the monthly, we're seeing some extremely bearish things start to form here on the chart. Okay, we're potentially starting to see, it's just on the cusp. It might not happen, guys. It might not happen. It would happen if we went for this high up here, or if we went for the 2022 January high, then it would absolutely happen. All right. But if we go to the weekly and even the monthly, if we come up here, let's say we take the January 2022 high, then it would totally happen right now. It could happen here, but what we're looking for is the upside down sandbagman free bearish man boot pattern on the ES. Okay, we want to see the money flow getting lower and the red nipples getting lower. And what you look at the potential here, it's actually some, shout out to Carl, it's actually some pretty crazy potential. Right. Let's see here. There we go. Wow. That you guys see what I'm saying, what I'm seeing, right? That is a top signal. When the money flow is getting lower and the momentum waves are getting lower, like this, and then like this, and we've got that macro divergence, that could be crazy. Now, I like this because it also lines up pretty nicely with potentially something happening with the dollar, right? The dollar also could get a very bullish divergence if we come to take the lows. You know what I'm saying? The dollar is coming to key support. So either the golden pocket, the 786, but really, I mean, the dollar could get a very bullish divergence if we come down to this low. And this is the weekly time frame. That could really set us off. Look at this. Right, the money flow would be getting thicker on the dollar over time. We'd be printing those local bullish divergences. It could be a really nice, in my opinion, pre-bull market pullback for all the assets that we're trading. That could allow us once again to get in some juicy long trades, you know? All right, Bitcoin is pretty much doing nothing, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Wow, almost 1,300 people, only 600 likes. Shout out to Dr. Blocks. The complete number of wines for peak happiness equals 0. Shout out to Escape the Matrix. Shout out to Sharp Slayer. He says, Jay, what up, dog? Can you take a look at the Bone USDT on the daily? We might be able to take a look. What about SHIB? We might be able to take a look. Shout out to EE Davalia. I'm sorry, Davila. Hello to you. God bless. Shout out to Divine Hood. Can we take a look at Soul? Yeah, we can take a look at Soul Divine Hood. Yeah, let's take a look at Soul. Solana. Now, here's the thing about Soul, guys. We're literally in the same boat that we've been in now since we tapped into that Casper crew level at 66,845, which is this. I'd say that this is, for me, still a no trade zone. For me, I would become more bearish on Solana if we can lose the low that we put in on Monday, November 13th. Also, we put that same low on Tuesday, November 21st. Right? If we can come down to this golden pocket, also we have a weekly level around 48.60. I would say maybe now we could look for more downside after a retracement. If we're unable to do so, then there is nothing objectively bearish right now about this, because we have been just literally respecting these higher lows this whole time. Right now, I do have to say, market cipher beat looks very bearish. So there's one of two things I would be interested in right now as far as goes shorting Sol. I don't know about longing Sol. I would definitely be looking for a long on Sol at the golden pocket, around 50 bucks, give or take. This zone here, it's a nice support resistance split. I'd definitely be looking for a long there. Two potential short scenarios for me would be, number one, put in a higher high but with continued bearish divergences. All right, like this would start to look very bearish on the 4 hour. If we put in another higher high, that would look extremely bearish. But then the second potential would be, we do get a bounce from the golden pocket, but it's a weak bounce and we put in the lower high. Maybe we take some liquidity from here or from here, and then we get a rejection. But other than that, Sol pretty much looking the exact same as it was, right? I don't consider it a head and shoulders. I know people do. People consider this head and shoulder. I don't like to consider it a head and shoulder until we actually make the lower low. So this to me is invalid head and shoulders, but we might do something like this, get some kind of weird head and shoulder pattern, which could still give us an indication that things are going to be getting lower. Momentum's coming down, money flow's coming down. We go to the daily time frame, we take a look at market cipher B. I'd say it really looks pretty much the same as Bitcoin. We've got bearish divergences, money flow still looks strong. So on the higher term time frames, you know, definitely a very juicy opportunity would be a retest now of the symmetrical triangle breakout, right? This would be like swing trade level stuff. If Sol got a massive move down to $27, that'd be really, 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 really juicy. But locally here, I'd be just looking to take the local lows into the golden pocket, the support resistance flip at 48 bucks for something like this, where then we'll have to assess the situation if we make a lower high or even a higher high. But in my opinion, this is the next major place that I would be looking for a long on Sol. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. God bless all of you guys. Shout out to Brett. Shout out to Ash. Shout out to Revy. Shout out to Checkmate number 1. Thoughts on Caspa? It pumped a lot. We can take a look. We can take a look at Caspa. Shiba Inu coin to the moon. It might. Yeah, I think meme coins definitely in the bull run are gonna have some really good opportunity potential. Yeah, let's take a look at Caspa up in her real quick. Take a look at Casp. All right, so Casper is kind of in the same boat as Solana, right? Let's go to our 4-hour time frame. Yeah, so it's really kind of in the same boat. I would really be looking for taking these lows into the golden pocket for a potential long here. But I do have to say, based on our 4-hour money flow momentum, I'm a little bit more biased to the short side, which literally means, I mean, like, I will either be looking for something like this, where we get a bounce from the golden pocket, and then we come up to this area right up here, where we have like a high volume node and this golden pocket retest for a move down. Or if we take the high again, look at how bearish things are starting to look on the 4-hour. You know, that does not look very bullish to me. Money flow is really coming out here. Let's go to the daily. Even money flow on the daily starting to come out, which makes me think if we put in another high, it could be a really, really nice top potentially for Caspa. On the 1-hour, we really have seen money flow come out here. So yeah. All right. Shout out to Splashfire Films. Shout out to Manhattan 6003. Shout out to Anon A. God bless you, man. All right, guys, I have to head out because we are doing games in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Again, guys, pin comment in the chat if you want to get 50% off the first month in the Casper Crew. Check out the pinned comment. You can use the coupon code VIP Black Friday. But yeah, I got to get ready for that. So, guys, may God bless you all in Jesus' name. Even if you're not religious, may the Lord bless you. May He keep you. May He shine light upon you. May He be gracious toward you. And may the Lord turn His face towards you and give you wholeness. And I'll see y'all in the next stream. Peace.